I was 11. I had really bad side pain near my appendix, so my mom took me into the hospital where I was diagnosed with pneumonia. And at that point, all my counts were off. My white counts were, my platelets, all of it. And after some antibiotics, everything else normalized except for my platelet count. So at that point, they just diagnosed me with acute ITP. And then 6 months later, I still have low platelets. So they diagnosed me with chronic ITP. Back in 2011, Dr. Tarantino went to Springfield and I guess was looking for ITP patients. And I was one of the only one pretty much at this hematologist office that had it as a kid. And he came in, talked to me. He had his lab tech with him. They drew blood because you had to meet a qualification. He just had started the in-plate study group. So I was one of 11 in that in-plate. I think that was maybe the second group that had gone through the pediatrics. And then once that trial was over, I want to say that's when I started self-injecting. And they would taught you in office. You would go in once a month, you get your platelets checked, and then they would give you a 3-week supplies. And they taught me and my dad, because he's one that went with me a lot, how to self-inject, how to mix the meds, which was super convenient because we didn't live in Peoria. And I started on in-plate. It worked right away. And then I've pretty much been on that ever since until about almost 2 years ago, I've been in remission. So kind of a long journey. It took us a little while to get there, but now I don't take anything. I would miss out on sports and all kinds of things when I was younger. I was in the hospital a lot. I think I was diagnosed at 11 in 6th grade. So 6th grade till I met Dr. Tarantino, I think I had been hospitalized 4 or 5 times, and each of them being a week long. So that was horrible. And then I met Tarantino, and I think I was only hospitalized from 2011 to now twice. And those were for fluke, weird things that had just happened. So that was really nice. And then I went right back into sports. So I didn't have to miss any more games or practices or sit out and watch the rest of the team play. And I got to become a kid again, which was really nice. I got to have a normal high school experience. I didn't have to miss out on things or go to the nurse to go get stuff done. So yeah, I was in the hospital a lot, and Dr. T and his staff really made me want to be a healthcare professional to some degree. My mom is also a nurse, so that was kind of a double reason why I went into it. I really just have a heart to help other people, and the way Dr. T conducts his office, between his receptionists to his nurses to him himself, everybody, you can tell everybody loves their job. And I wanted that. I wanted to be a part of something that I loved and also got to help. So that is why I work in the ICU as a nurse. I love it. I love working with critical patients. I think Dr. T does a really good job of giving patients their voice back, but just to know that patients are in control of their healthcare and that ITP is so unique and individualized for each person. Not every drug works for every patient. So just find a doctor that helps give that voice back to you. I think that's the biggest piece, is just to advocate for yourself and what you want in your treatment goals. But really the moment that I've met everybody at BCDI, and it's not, obviously Dr. T is huge. You can tell he has a heart for his patients. He's not just doing it because it's a cool job. He loves his patients, and it's very obvious. But his whole staff does. They have programs to help you financially. They have programs to help you socially. If you kind of feel like an outcast because ITP is so rare, there's a whole community that they can get you plugged into, especially as a kid. They have dietitians on board to help with you. They have a whole crew of people that treat you as a whole person versus just one minute part, which I think is important, especially as a child. That way you don't really feel like something is wrong with you, I guess, or you're only treating one part. So I don't know. I think the way he conducts his staff is very different and unique compared to any other doctor I've either worked for or seen. I think that's what makes BCDI so different, is all their programs to make this the most accessible thing for people. And I know he does other treatments other than just in-plate, but I know in-plate works for a lot of people. So that's been really cool to be able to be on the study drug in it be successful and like watch it save lives and help other people. What he has grown and developed and continues to grow is pretty much life-saving for anybody that walks through those doors. I think he's phenomenal and he sets the standard for healthcare.